I'm good. I was just laughing actually because I've just come on and I was like looking through the email for the Zoom thing, and like I just WhatsApp before, and Claire had said you'd emailed, and she said she was like, "Do you know who these guys are?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm doing a podcast in a bit," and she said, "I've just texted to ask." Oh, she said, "I've just emailed back because I thought I'd set it up and forgot about it," and she was like, she couldn't remember like ever said it were you guys, and I was just laughing looking at the email where she said, "Can you remind me where you guys are from?" or something else. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, she asked us where we're from, so I just threw her a responance back saying.
I like the direct response. Where exactly are you from? I like.
Yeah.
No detail left unnoticed.
As if they know where Arlington Heights, Illinois is.
yeah. I've never been there, but.
Well, actually, I heard. Did you try out the Passero restaurant in Arlington Heights? Italian place.
Would I have done?
At the BMW Championship.
Maybe we went. Yeah,
you and Molinari, I think, went there like twice.
Yeah. You're right. That's a great little town.
That's where we're all from,
so
actually.
That little town is where we're from. Yeah.
There you go. That is a really nice little town.
Yeah, they got a good downtown area.
Exactly, and Fran even said the pasta was okay, so high standards.
Did he?
Yeah, Fran's the guy that's gonna know whether the Italian's good or not.
Fran's the one to ask. Yeah, he's like the go-to. He's the go-to sort of connoisseur of pasta.
I feel like if he says it's okay, that means it's pretty good, considering.
If he says it's okay, it's very good. Yeah. You're good.
Do you remember? Do you usually join him in the Italian cuisine, or do you just kind of go your own route?
What, do I order the same, or do I like?
Well, do you trust him if he says like we got to get this pasta at this place?
Yeah, I would trust him to know what's good. Yeah.
Do you?
It's a pretty safe bet if you go with Fran, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Are you is something going on outside? Are you redoing anything, or?
We're having a lot going on actually. So it was all going pretty smoothly. So we're having like an extension on the house and stuff. I'm not actually. People aren't supposed to be allowed to see that, really, but you can see.
we won't
we're all friends here. It's fine. And so we're having like this extension, which has been going on for like a year, but obviously with about 3 weeks to go, say, or a month to go, then coronavirus hit. So then everybody stopped working, but they started coming back a little bit now. So,
gotcha.
Like ongoing. I don't know what the house would look like without builders around it and stuff at the moment.
Are we gonna get a putting green out there? Or?
I used to have one, and then to have the extension done, they had to dig it up because they had to get the machines in. So that went, and now I've got like an indoor one, but I think we might be going for an outdoor one again. Just fill my house with like anything and everything like to do with golf.
Do you have any simulator that you can play on right now, or are you kind of just taking it easy? Do you?
Yeah, I've got a HD. That is part of the extension, but the simulator was put in quick enough before the virus. So I've got a HD golf simulator and a like Zen green stage, so I can mess around in there.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, I saw Xander Schauffele say he was going like stir crazy because he hasn't been able to do anything.
Are they? So is California like a golf course is closed in California and stuff, or?
I think California's been pretty strict.
Yeah.
Yeah, it varies on state or by state.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, so many people ask me about the PGA Tour stuff and that, and I'm like, well, I only see, like, we wake up and then see the UK news, or and we're like, well, every single state that you have is like its own country, really. And you know, like people are asking me what's going to happen. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Mike's in Texas, and they finally started to open up bars, and I'm sure the golf courses are pretty lenient there.
Open bars in Texas.
Not bars, but restaurants at like 50%.
They want to get Austin up and running again.
Yeah, Austin.
That's where he is. Yeah.
Austin's slowly coming back. You can golf now, which is nice.
Matt, is that a favorite spot for you in the U.S. tour?
I do like that one. I mean, so I played the match play there the last 3 years, and it pretty much goes, I play 3 days, and then Saturday morning's like a horrendous few hours of my life, really, after a Friday night on Rainy Street. I'm just like, I need to play better there so I can just survive the weekend or something.
Well, hopefully you make the weekend and Rainy Street's more like Sunday night next time, but next time I'll meet you out down there.
Sunday night Rainy Street would be better than a Friday night one.
Let's plan next year's Sunday night Rainy Street. I'll be there. But Mac, are we all set audio-wise? We can get it. Okay, Walsh, you want to start the intro and we'll get into it?
No worries.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need too much of an intro, but folks, we're more than happy to welcome on Tommy Fleetwood, one of the top-ranked players in the world here for a number of years, one of the most consistent performers on the European Tour and the PGA Tour, and all around probably one of the most liked guys on each tour, maybe the most. I don't want to, we don't want to suck up too quick, but
it's a nice title to have. That is. We'll go for that one.
Yeah, but we're happy to have you on. Thanks for coming on, Tommy, and we're looking forward to a great combo.
Thank you. Yeah, enjoying it.
So yeah, why don't we start it off? I guess kind of the obvious question, but what the hell have you been doing the last month and a half with this Corona stuff? I mean, how you hanging in there? You able to get some golf in, or what's going on?
Yeah, everybody's different, aren't they? I think. Do you know when it originally happened? Like I was happy to get home. So when it was all kicking off, I was at the Players, obviously, and I think it was just a case of nobody really knew what was going on. It was all happening really quick, and so once I got home, I didn't really mind what happened then in terms of like any kind of lockdown. And since we've gone into lockdown, originally I didn't really want to say what a good time I was having because like all the families together, 3 kids are at home, no school, and for us that travel so much, it's like time that we never get and stuff like that. So originally I was like, I kind of want to say I'm having a great time, but I don't want to like really say I'm having a great time because it's not that appropriate. And then sort of I get to this point now and you just think, you might as well be positive about it at the moment and just, people should be happy really. And it's been great being at home, spending time with, watching Frankie grow up, nearly 3. Kid, like I say, the 2 older kids aren't in school. I can hit balls. I've got a simulator in the house, which kind of do sporadically really. It's funny when you have nothing to like, when you have no agenda, it's like kind of just go in there willy-nilly. It's not like doing loads, but it's been really cool.
Especially for golf, I feel like there's no off season, so you finally get like a chance to just be at your place for a month and a half, 2 months, and settle down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because even when we do get time off, so say if we stop playing in December, there's either tournaments on anyway that you've decided not to play in, or there's always an agenda where you're trying to get ready for something coming up. So actually, just having time where you can just relax, or you don't have to worry about too much, or you're not looking too far ahead. It's nice to have time to do that, and it's nice to be actually not be traveling the whole time and be in some kind of routine where you get up and do like the same things all the time. Right. It's like I never do.
Right.
So Tommy, I'd like to know, you were born in Southport, England. Is that where you're from? And then kind of let us know how your golf career started. Did you start at an early age? Was it something that came eventually?
Yeah, Southport, born and raised. That's where I'm from. That's where my parents are from. And I got into golf, I'd say fairly soon. It's obviously such a well-known golfing town. So like if it's likely in Southport that you're probably going to pick up golf at some point just with the golf courses that are around. I think I took it up when I was like 5 or 6. My brother and my dad played, and I guess my dad was a really big influence on me he loved the game, and he loved playing, so I wanted to play with him. And I think it just turned into like the favorite thing that I wanted to do. So if I'd come home from school, I would rather hit balls than anything else. And then at weekends, if it was a Saturday, I want to go to the golf course. I want to practice. I want to play. And it was like nothing was ever forced, or nothing was ever like, it just never crossed my mind to really do anything else. I was always pretty good at it, and I'm distinctly average at pretty much everything else in life. So I sort of edged towards the thing that I was all right at.
Well, it sounds like it came about pretty naturally. You got some guys who are kind of molded to it, like right from the get-go. Their parents or, father in particular kind of push them to it. But it sounds like you kind of got into it naturally, and that's probably why you're having such good success out there, and you don't feel too much pressure every time you're teeing it up.
Well, yeah, I think, like I say, it was never forced on me. I always wanted to do it, and then as I kind of got older, I think, especially when I left school, I was doing really, really well. I've always had a good work ethic, and then I kind of knew that I wanted to. When I did turn pro, it was like my turn to kind of provide for the family, right. I guess, for my mum and dad and stuff, and that was kind of what I always looked towards. So when I turned pro, sign a smallish contract with Nike or whatever, and then get on the challenge and start earning. I could pay towards the family and stuff. And pretty much when I was never like, I was never homeless and stuff, but we were never like really well off. So I think once you've got past that point in your life, like everything, obviously the bar always gets set higher the better you're doing, and the more that you have, but really, I mean, playing golf is a massive privilege. So I never like, I love the nerves and stuff of like challenging in events, but golf is never like a strenuous experience at all, really.
So Tommy, you're only a few years older than us, so you grew up kind of the same golf era. I'm curious, did you grow up, kind of idolizing the other English guys like Poulter, Westwood, Rosie, or who was your guys when you were growing up?
It's a good question. I always think, like, people always ask like golfing heroes, and I think so many people, especially my age, so for me being a few years younger, few years older than you, so I started seeing Tiger at like an early age. So 97, I remember going, I must have walked downstairs or something. I'm watching the TV, and my dad's watching the Masters, and he said, this guy's going to be a joke. And it was Tiger, who's at the time leading by like 9. So, well, he turned out right. But so I was one of them that watched him through his whole career, but Tiger was never really my hero. I was way more into Ernie. Ernie was like my absolute idol. I really like Monty. And those two were like the swings that I always tried to copy. And then the English guys, I guess I like Westwood, like, more. He was around when I was young-ish and moving up, and I sort of appreciated his career where he was a great young player playing at Valderrama in the Ryder Cup, then struggled for a little bit, and then came back really, really strong. And I think I appreciated his career a lot. But for me, Ernie was like my ultimate the whole time.
Has Ernie lived up to the hype now that you've got to know him?
Massively, yeah. The term "don't meet your heroes," I'm always like worried about that one, but Ernie just is the direct opposite of that like saying. But it's kind of weird because when you do play with someone for the first time, it's like it's the first time you're playing with someone like that, and he's your hero. But because you're so involved in your own thing, like I'm about to tee it up wherever I'm going to tee it up, so I'm playing for myself. I'm not really that fussed about playing with Ernie Els. I know he's my hero, but I'm like, hi, all's good. But I've had like 2 or 3 moments off the course where I've spent time with him, and he's just like, he's really, really cool, and he's always been unbelievably nice. And he's like absolutely has lived up to that the whole time.
Jack and I were able to meet Ernie once at the 2015 PGA at Whistling Straits, and he was just awesome with us. Just by all accounts, just a great dude.
Such a good guy.
I want to switch away from golf real quick. One of our kind of producer research guys told us that Everton is your football team. Talk about how that fan had started, where things are at with them right now. And then it was Tim Howard, the U.S. guy. He was the keeper over there for a few years.
Keeper for a long time. So like it's quite regular that somebody will come up to me in America and say they're an Everton fan because of Tim Howard. So I quite like that. I like that connection.
Yeah.
But where I'm from, so Southport, the choices. So we, say my house would be 40 minutes from Anfield and Goodison Park, which are, they're literally like 200 yards apart. So the town was like, you either support Liverpool or Everton, and I just happened to grow up and want to support Everton. I don't know why, but it kind of came to me, and that was the team that I wanted to support. So I've always supported them and never gone back. And kind of once you choose one, there's no changing. And I can honestly say I'm no Glory fan, that's for sure, because we've had very little success for a long time now. And even with money, we've we've not really bought very well. But we've got a really good manager now. We've got Ancelotti, who's like definitely, before the virus had hit and stuff, he'd changed like the mentality of the team, and he was doing a really good job. So the positivity around him is a lot better than it has been for a while. But we'll see.
I'd love to get to a game out there. Next time we're out in England, we'll have to maybe check on Everton, Tottenham.
Yeah, so for us, it's like we watch like college sports, and we're like, what is this? Like we don't have that at all. We have nothing like that in terms of like college football or basketball or whatever. And we would look at that, but like for the likes of you guys, I guess watching a English football match or a soccer match, it's like the atmosphere to them is pretty cool. So.
It's unbelievable. We were actually texting Rosie and Stenson when that England-Sweden game was on. Rosie sent a selfie after rubbing it into Henrik. So it's good stuff over there. But I'd like to venture back into golf. If you can, Tommy, bring us back to the Johnny Walker Championship at Glen Eagles. Your first career win ever, I think, as a pro. What were the emotions like then? And, how did you handle, I guess, the Sunday or, emotions and keeping it in check?
Yeah. Well, I'd come through the Challenge Tour in 2011 and then so finished top of the Challenge Tour and kind of like when I say cruise through it, it sounds like kind of cocky, but it didn't really feel like that at the time, like you cruise through it. But obviously finished top and I was young and I was confident. I'd like gone from world #1 amateur to then winning the Challenge Tour at 20. So everything was like pretty easy. I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to keep going on. And then first year I got on the European Tour, I was just like, well, I'm not good enough. Like I could drive the ball well, but the rest of like the game wasn't really good enough. And the challenges were very different. And nobody really cared that I'd been a good amateur or I'd won Challenge Tour. Nobody was bothered there.
Right.
So that was like, hit me pretty hard and ended up just keeping my card that year. The first year on tour, I finished 6th in my final event. And that was really good to like manage to stay on tour. And then the next year, once I got through that one, it felt like a weight was off my shoulders and I felt like I could press on. And I've been pretty consistent all year, but hadn't, I think I'd had like, 2 or 3 top 10s, been playing a lot better and stuff and getting more used to it. And I got to that last round of the Johnny Walker and I was leading. And I've had a psychologist for a long time and I've got the same one now as I did when I was playing that Johnny Walker Championship. And I called him up on the Saturday night and I was leading by 1. And I called him up and I forgot that he was on his stag do for getting married and he was in, I can't remember where it was like Berlin or somewhere like that. And he's called me up absolutely, I mean, he's like, completely out of it and he's trying to give me advice while he's like in the middle of a stag do dressed as like a leprechaun or something in the middle of like these dance. So we always laugh about that story and I can't remember what he said now, and he definitely can't remember, but I think I just went out that day and I was nervous, but I think like it was funny how sometimes things work out and things don't. And I remember I'd sort of fallen back out of the lead and then I had made an eagle on 16, hit a great shot in 17 and birdied 18. So I was 3 under for the last 3 to get into a playoff and ended up winning the playoff. But like throughout that day, I think I was all right. And I think it was just a new experience for me, really. I hadn't really led on tour going into the final round and whatever had happened that day, I'd have been all right with. Just so happened that things it was a bit of a roller coaster and things worked out and it was very, very cool winning my first event. But in general, like, I always think, whenever times are like that, even back then, I thought, I'm going to be fine, whatever happens. So, but yeah, it's better when you win than lose, even though everything's all right.
Right.
So Tommy, because when did you start kind of splitting tours? Was it 2016, 17ish, or when did you kind of make your way over to America for, a little bit more?
Yeah, so I played a bit in 2015. I played like a few events and I was doing well. I just got into the top 50 in the world. And then I started struggling pretty much. I mean, I played like...
Because did you make a run at Harding Park that one year when the match play was still there?
Yeah, I was in the quarters and got beat by Danny in the quarters there. So I played, really well that week. And I played a few events like Memorial and I played a couple others, but then I really struggled for a year from like the 2015 Open to 2016 and then 17. I started playing really, really well, got back into the top 50 and started playing in America again. Like, so something like Bay Hill must have been like my first event in America that year and got my card. So I'd got my card through temporary membership after that US Open at Erin Hills. And
we were there for that.
I've played both. I've played both tours since.
Yeah, because what I was going to ask is I feel like Erin Hills is kind of when you made your statement to America. Yeah. Look, I can hang with these boys. And then when did you kind of feel fully adjusted with the, balancing both tours, the travel and all that? When did you feel like, all right, I know how to manage this and I can go have success on both of these tours?
Yeah, I think the tours are very different. And there's definitely, there's a reason that I'm not really sure why, but there's a reason why some guys succeed at playing both and some guys don't. It's a different style of golf, and each tournament is each tournament's very busy with like a different atmosphere to what we're playing all the time. So there's quite a few differences, and you do in the travel. And I think again, like it's different starting the year out still for me, I mean, this is my third year, say, playing on the PGA Tour or playing both tours, and still I think it's just because you've grown up in Europe. I think wherever you've grown up, obviously wherever else you play is going to feel different, and not necessarily that you're less comfortable with, because it's just golf. Like, you're still just playing golf, you're doing what you do all the time, but it's just a change. I think from always when I've come over to the PGA Tour, I actually really enjoy the working environment. I like how competitive it is. I like the standard of equipment, coaches, courses, and everything that goes into an event. I really, really enjoy it. So I think I've always been someone that's like looked forward to getting out on the PGA Tour and playing, really. And at times I've thrived in it, and at times I've not done very well. But I do always enjoy going to these events, and it's always been really, really good. And so far, I've done all right, and hopefully keep improving. But it's definitely a change when you do originally get going.
I got to ask, is there a major difference in the type of fan that you encounter over in Europe and in the U.S.? Do people say different things to you? Are they more supportive? Not that you want to throw anyone under the bus, but like, how are the American fans versus the European fans?
So I've been lucky that I've always had good support, and I've always it's not something I've gone like massively out of my way to do, but I think naturally I grow like a pretty good connection with people anyway in general. And I think I don't know whether it's because I look different or something, but I've always like been lucky that American fans have got behind me, even at Erin. So say Erin Hills, for instance, like, first major I've really competed in, I felt like people really got behind me that week and really wanted me to do well and stuff. And ever since, people have been the same. And there is a difference. And of course, you're always gonna. I think just because American fans are more vocal, and that goes both ways. You get the ultimate positivity out of guys, and there's times where they're going to pick you up and carry you forwards when you might not be feeling great, and they're going to pick you, and you'll get the odd time where they might say something that you don't like, but take the book with the smooth. And
I think Ian Poulter may have a few stories on that one.
Well, yeah, Paul's gets it more than some, but I've had a few experiences of it, but it's fine, because the majority, 99% of people have been really supportive and really positive, and I wouldn't change that for anything. So
it's good to hear.
Like a few people that might say a bad thing or something that I might not like, that's okay. It is freedom of speech. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm curious too, Tommy. You've had success in major championships all across the board. Is there a particular major that you would want to get first? Obviously, you take any, but is there one? Is the Claret Jug, or is it a Masters?
So like my dream event, and if I could win one, and then like they'd say, you're never going to play again, would be the Open. Like, I want to hold the Claret Jug, and that's just. I think that's just growing up from where I'm from. The Open always came to Birkdale every 10 years or something. We've had Opens at Lytham, which was half an hour from my house. Opens at Hoylake, half an hour from my house. And I think being English as well, you just grow up with that. You grow up wanting to win that one. And like you say, I mean, I'm not going to be overly picky, but that would be top of the list for sure if I could just win one. And hopefully I win more than one, but if it's going to be one, I'd want that one.
I did give a prediction out for you. I don't want to put too much pressure on, but I said you're going to be the first Englishman to win in England since, I think, Nick Faldo.
It would be Nick Faldo, yeah. I think he's the last English major winner, yeah. So, it'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Got to get you guys back.
There you go. There's the positivity I'm talking about.
So I like your chances.
So yeah, I can't think of many better stories than you hoisting that Claret Jug and bringing it back to an England man.
We'd have a good time with it.
Yeah. Did Shane did you get any drink out of his Claret Jug? Did he? Were you with him at all during that celebration? Or no.
No, I think he shipped it off pretty quick to somewhere in Ireland. But no, I've not had a drink out of it, and I think. Maybe when I get to if I've not won it by the time my career's over, I'll make friends with somebody that's really, really good and then have a drink out of it.
Well, the thing is too, you play. I mean, in 19, you played darn well enough to win the thing. Lowry just had the week of his life almost type thing. But
yeah, and it's a strange feeling really, because like I say, it is. We talked about it just then, and I'd say it is my dream to win the Open and stuff. So you leave the course on Saturday night and you go to bed and your dream is like massively there, and it's like really, really close. You go there on Sunday morning, it's, you're going to play 18 holes to maybe win the Open. And it was kind of, it was an up and down there. It was really, really rough. And I think the 15th that day, like I hit a great tee shot and I've hit a 3-wood that's gone like 330. I don't know how it's gone that far and stuff because it was only a crosswind anyway. And then, you know, I go in the bunker, I tried to get too much out of it, end up making double, and that was kind of where it ended. And that was pretty much the most sickening feeling on a golf course I've had. Yeah. And like I watched the Open back. I've never wanted to watch it back at all. But the kids obviously love golf and they want to watch it. And the other day it was on, so I said, you know what, I might as well sit and watch it with you. And it still hurts. Like I was watching it, I was like, I know what's going to happen. Right. I feel like shit. I know
take less club.
I was like, yeah, and I was like, oh, this sucks.
Right.
So, but you know, it was Shane's week, and he did, you know, in the end, you know, he played better than anybody, and he did exactly the perfect round of golf on Sunday, pretty much. And you know, I didn't win, but at least, you know, I got a lot of experience from it, and I've watched another guy win a major. You know, I've watched Brooks do it, I've watched Shane do it. So, you know, eventually I'll take all that and hopefully use it.
Were you a little bummed to see the RNA come out so early and cancel this year's? And do you think are you pretty hopeful that the other 3 can still happen, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously very difficult times, and I think you just have to respect everybody's decision. Because at the end of the day, nobody's ever experienced this, and nobody really knows what's right or wrong. I think originally, as soon as it came out, I thought, you know, the way to look at it was that the 149th Open is just next year. So it's kind of like the Open's not on this year. So it's kind of missed a year, but it's not really missed an Open kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So you still play the 149th. And I don't know, I kind of looked at it that way. And, you know, it is what it is. And I think, like I say, I wouldn't like to be one of the people who have to make decisions right now in terms of like what goes on in that. And I think just being respectful of any decision. I hope the rest of the tournaments go ahead this year. I think the PGA Tour have been unbelievably optimistic with June, but I actually, again, as a player, like whoever's been working on that and managed to get a schedule together for June, whether it happens or not, I think it's unbelievable to know that you've got people behind the scenes that are pushing for something like that to happen. That's an amazing amount of work to go into that. So whether it happens or not, like appreciative of people's optimism and their efforts for sure.
Well, we'd love to get you and Franco back to Whistling if you know everything cooperates. We're supposed to go there, so we're looking forward to that one. And
well, let's hope it's on. I've said a few times, like, you know, I don't, as a player and stuff, and as a fan of the game, I obviously don't really agree with it being played without fans. But at the same time, I think the Ryder Cup would be an amazing event to be on in terms of where the world's at the moment. I think it would be amazing for people to be able to watch the Ryder Cup, and you know, there's a lot of financial implications in it as well. So, again, both sides of the story. If it's on, I want to play. If it's not on, I'll play next time, hopefully.
Well, we'd love to hear the chant again. That was one of the best ones that I've heard in recent memory.
I'm not sure we want to hear it, but I mean, we'll accept it if you guys earn it again, like you did.
Well, you never know. We're not play bad, and the Americans will be singing it for us.
Right. So how did the kind of, have you and Fran always been close, and how did that partnership kind of develop? Was that something that had been known for, you know, a while heading into the Cup, or what's kind of the backstory of your guys' relationship?
We've always been pretty friendly. So my wife Claire, well, not originally, but there was, you know, a few years ago, for quite a while, she was Fran's agent. So she's been close with the family, with Fran and Valentina, for a long time. I've always sort of got on well with Fran. We've got similar personalities, similar sense of humor, and we just happened to grow closer when me and Claire got together, spent more time together, us all being friends and stuff. And I think when the Ryder Cup was happening, I think with it being at that golf course, and just us both playing and us spending a lot of time together, we definitely put it forward that we thought, you know, we'd like to play together. And then it was just a case of, you have your practice rounds. Thomas has his ideas of who he wants to put together and stuff, but we definitely put it forward that we wanted to play. And then we got our chance on Friday morning. In fact, no, Thomas told us we were going to play twice on Friday, but we still got to play well. And then, you know, if you don't, then you won't get picked together. But, you know, we just happened to get on a run. I think once we got through that morning 4 balls on Friday, where it was a tough game, and we got through that, I think, we were off and running, and it just ended up very, very good for us.
You guys took out Tiger a few
Yeah,
times.
it snowballed
too,
pretty
is never
quick.
bad to say.
Yeah. Well, it was a nice. I had a nice time doing it as well.
I would wonder who is, in 2018, that was your first ride. Who is kind of like the team leader in there of the players? Has Rory kind of stepped up, or is it Poulter? Or
Yeah,
Rosie.
I'd say there's the people lead in different ways. I would say, and I think the great thing about the European dressing room, from what I experienced, was whether you were Tommy Fleetwood, who was a rookie, or you were Rory McIlroy or Justin Rose, who played so many, or and at the top of the game, it didn't really, it absolutely didn't matter. Everybody's on a level keel, and I think there's people in there like, so there's like a Rory or Sergio who are always there and in the middle, and who are more vocal people out there who egg people on and lead that way. Or there's like a Henrik who'll walk in and he's like the confident, calm, relaxing atmosphere in there that is there. And I think people lead in different ways, but I do think the beauty of a European like team and dressing room there was, I just thought, completely, once you walk into a locker room or a team room, anybody's ego's left outside and everybody is literally on the same page. And it was an amazing thing to be part of. Like, it was really, really beautiful the whole time.
yeah, I'd be interested, just emotionally, like how are the emotions when you walk up to that first tee? Can you describe it in words, or is it a surreal moment? Even watching, I feel like I get goosebumps and feel the energy. I can't imagine hitting a golf ball while that's going on.
Well, yeah, it's cool, and that was part of my argument. Well, not really an argument, because nobody's going to listen to me, but like when I said about the fans and stuff at a Ryder Cup, was that if it's somebody's first Ryder Cup, or it could be somebody's only Ryder Cup, people and play their careers and play one Ryder Cup, but imagine playing, and you've heard stories about people teeing off on the first where they can't put the ball on the tee, or they've held like this monster putt, and they have that whole Ryder Cup experience, which you can't buy really. To miss that because there's no fans, I felt like it was kind of a sad time. But again, past that, and for me, the Ryder Cup, my whole goal for say a year and a half when the qualification started was, I pitched myself on the first tee. So I never really got past the first tee because that's all I thought about. I was like, and I could see the moment where I'm on the first tee, I get my name called out, I'm putting the tee on the ground, and whatever happened from there, I hadn't really thought about. And the one thing was like, so Friday morning, like you wake up and we were the last game out. So you're warming up on the putting green, you hear the first guys walk into the tee and you hear the noise and stuff. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then you hear the second lot come and you hear that noise and what's happening every single time. And then, somebody will, like one of the vice captains or something, will come to you and they'll go, yeah, so-and-so's just hit it in the water, or so-and-so looked like a ghost on the tee or something. And I'm like, come on, you don't need to like just rub it in. I'm like, just let me like do my thing and let me see how I handle it. And then to be fair, when I got there, I was still on the tee, and I was like, so Fran was next to me, Finno was next to me, Tiger, Patrick. I was like, well, I played with those a bunch. And then we thought about what club it was, and it was a 5-wood. And at the time, I still had that blue 5-wood, which is like my favourite club ever. So I was like, well, that's all right. And then I was like, I played this hole a bunch, so that's all right. So I might as well just like get on with it. And I actually felt okay, and
Really?
ended up hitting a good tee shot. But it was funny how like it just changed to where I just thought, I'm okay, and at least if somebody already is like duffed it. The only thing that I could have done bad was top it, and I was pretty sure with my 5-wood I was going to be okay. So
yeah. Real quick, I listened to John Rahm was on a podcast, I think a month or two ago. He talked about that Ryder Cup when he played Tiger Woods, the singles Sunday morning. He said he was like a nervous wreck. He had no idea he couldn't get himself to calm down kind of. And to your point about leadership, he said that you actually said a couple things to him before he played Tiger, and that kind of calmed him down. He went out and won. Do you remember what you said to him? And you cared to share?
I remember him asking me. So it was, I'm sure it was like Saturday night after the team meeting and stuff. And that is like, again, that's like a great example of like the European team room, like John Rahm. When would you ever come and ask somebody like advice or something when you're about to play? And he came up to me and he said, have you got any advice? I think he asked for some advice for tomorrow or something, or he was, he's clearly nervous. And I looked at him and I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I've never played with Tiger before and playing him in singles. Like, have you got any advice? And I was like, you're better than him. I was like, like I just kind of put it matter of factly. I said if you play your game, you're going to beat Tiger Woods. I've gone, so just go out there and like beat John Rahm and play a game. It was along them lines.
Yeah.
And like I remember giving him the advice and stuff, or we had like this little chat, and I didn't want to like big it up any more than what it was. I was just like, just be you and you'll be fine and stuff. And then I saw him afterwards, and I was like, I fucking told you. And yeah, I mean, I've watched him all that put a bunch of times and seen how happy he was. There's nothing better than watching a happy arm like go bouncing around a green and stuff. So, but that is, again, that's like Ryder Cup experiences, which are really, really cool, and that you don't get week in, week out. Just having that closeness and that trust in each other to go out there.
Right. And you have no idea watching it. Like, we don't know how Rahm's feeling, but you hear that, and it's awesome to see like how you guys connect, and he plays like that, and then afterwards you're joking around about it.
Sometimes all a guy needs is a little matter-of-fact statement telling him to go do it, and then he's ready to go.
That's what I'm thinking. Anytime I play a golf match, you better than him. Like,
just be you. Just be you, and you'll be fine.
Right.
That's what it is to do.
Well, speaking of a round where you went out and just were you, that I want to take you back to that 63 this Sunday at Shinnecock Hills where
you there anytime,
where you that it could have been enough to go win the thing, but what was the mindset heading into that round? You knew obviously you had to attack and make birdies, and would you say that's the best round of your life, or where would that rank in terms of greatest rounds of your career?
It probably is the best round of my life, and I remember the Saturday. There's always like a story before something good's happened, but like Saturday was like, I mean, ridiculous. And again, what you don't get a grasp of when you're playing is what other people are going through. And I just thought, this course is impossible. Like, I played 9 holes, I played the front 9, I missed a shot, I was 3 over, and I was like, and then tripled 10 from hitting it in the rough and trying to do too much. But I remember putting out on the first on Saturday, I had like 6 foot for birdie. And I hit this putt, and it like lipped out, I think. And then I was kind of looking like dazing, thinking I'll go tap it in, and it went like 4.5 foot past. And I was like, well, these are quick. And then as the day went on, it was just impossible. And it was disappointing because I played so well on Friday, and I felt like I was in a really good spot, and could charge for the weekend. And then I'd shot 79 and then so you're on a bit of a downer, but kind of came away feeling okay. I'd hold a couple of crucial putts coming in on Saturday to even be anywhere to break 80, to be honest. I was trying to break 80. Yeah. And then woke up the next day, and I'd text Finno, and I said, I'm going to beat Johnny Miller's record today. It was like a jokey statement.
Again, matter of fact.
A matter of fact, like, I'm better than him. But like, I said, I just texted, and I was like, I'm going to be positive, going to beat Johnny Miller's record today. So go out there and play the first, and then hold like a 60-footer on the second, birdie 3, couple more birdies. Then I bogeyed 9 from like the middle of the fairway, and that was pretty crap. And what was happening was Claire had a flight, and she said, if you're doing all right, I'm going to stay. She was due to have a flight home and stuff, and she said, if you're actually going well, because I told her I was going to beat Johnny Miller's record. So people were like, well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to hang around for it.
And it's a profit.
So she said, anyway, I'm on the 10th, and I've hit it onto the green, but knocked it 3 foot past. So just bogeyed 9, and I was over this putt, and I was like, if I miss this, I know Claire's going to go home, and I'm not going to say I'm going to cock this up, this whole thing. I was going to beat Johnny Miller's record. Claire was going to stay. We're going to have a great time. I'm going to miss this, and I'm just going to go home, and it's going to suck. And then like get that on in, and then made 4 birdies in a row on the back 9. But as soon as I got to, it was like 14, I think I got to, and all of a sudden, like, you've gone from playing a great round of golf to I'm like 3 off the lead or something, and I know I've got holes in the bag. And always when you've got holes in, you played more holes than somebody at the US Open, that's a good thing, really. You don't want to go and play them again. And I birdied 14, and then now it's real. Now I'm like, yeah, now it's on. But all of a sudden you start thinking about the tournament a little bit more, but you have to keep going in your round. And hold a great putt on 15. And then again, the way I played 16, 17, 18, I didn't birdie any of them. And I had chances on all of them, really, even down to the last. But the way I played those holes, and especially 18, I think I was just really proud of that. And then you go on about what's it like to play in America, or the American fans and the interaction. There was a spell where down that hole of the 18th hole, like, this New York crowd had just like gone crazy while I was walking down the hole. And then stood over this putt that was for a 62. To this day, I hit exactly the putt I wanted to, and it missed low. Tapped it in, and then get this like standing ovation from a New York crowd, which is like goosebump stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was a long walk to the clubhouse, and everybody kind of clapped me in. Zach Johnson was stood on the 14th tee, and I can't remember who else with them there clapping as I'm walking in. And it was like, I was like, oh yeah, I shot 63. But when you're in the middle of it, you don't really, I'm trying to win the tournament. I'm trying to shoot a great round of golf, and then you finish and you realize you've done something great. And then it was funny really, because even as I walked in, I was like, I'm probably going to be one short, and somehow it just happened that way. But it was cool.
That's awesome stuff.
Damn,
yeah, cool. The breakdown of it's just cool. I want to see Tommy in the mix more though too, because I think he gives some good fist pumps. The little crouch one.
He'll be in the mix.
We love the fist pumps.
Well, anytime you got a chance for a fist pump, you got to give it some. I'll keep working on like different natural reactions.
The variety. We'll throw in an uppercut or something.
An uppercut. I'll throw an uppercut. Yeah.
I liked his own. He was giving his own little. That might have to be the go-to. Like Nicholas had the putter raise.
The putter, yeah, exactly. If I make it as infamous as that, that'll be a good effort.
Well, knock on wood with those New York crowds loving you. I mean, somehow Winged Foot is able to be a go, and this thing goes away. It could be time at Winged Foot.
It could be. I was actually like really excited about playing Winged Foot just because, the courses in America that have so much history, like that's one of them and stuff. A little bit like a Shinnecock. Not really worried about playing that well there. Obviously, I want to play well when I get there, but I think anytime like we get a chance to play like a historical golf course like that, and like it's, I don't know about you guys, but if I go home and I'm like go to my golf club and I'm with my dad's mates and stuff, if I gave him a ball marker from Winged Foot, it'd be like the greatest thing ever. And having the chance to like go these places, I never really sort of lose sight of how cool that is. So I was actually excited to go to Winged Foot, so I hope it's on.
Is that the hat you're wearing?
No, this was this is a hat from the Masters last year where so I don't really see it, so it's got like two hands on it and it's supposed to be Amen Corner, and Nike did like a bunch of like hats and stuff for it. So Oscar, my oldest stepson, told me that it was his before, but he wears my socks and boxers like all day every day, so I'm gonna wear your hat, so it's fine.
That's a pretty sweet hat. But Mike, I know we don't want to take too much of his time. Are you ready for the?
We don't want to take too much of your time, so we'll lead into our final segment here. We call this the 60-second scramble. This is rapid fire, short answer questions. Are you ready?
Don't hold back, Mike.
I'm so ready right now.
Are you ready to face the music?
This might be more pressure than a Sunday 10-footer.
All right. First question: who plays Tommy Fleetwood in the movie?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
That's what I was going to say.
Were you going to say that?
I thought of the flow.
The eyes.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite non-golf related activity to do in your free time?
Sex.
All right.
Our audience is old enough. Keep it rolling.
That's the answer. All right. So you said the British Open would be the one major, but if you had to win one of the ones played in America, you could only win one. Which would it be?
Rapid fire, Tommy.
Masters.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Here's one that hopefully Claire is not listening, but who's better overall with Franklin doing the dirty work, changing diapers, putting them to bed, that type of thing? Who's better at getting it done, you or Claire?
I'm better at putting him to bed, without doubt. Nappies, diapers, like she can have that one. I'm not really worried about that.
Okay. You got 1 day left on Earth. What meal are you having as your last meal?
Well, to us it's Christmas dinner. To you it's Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey.
Okay. If you could face any American player in Ryder Cup singles on Sunday, someone you haven't battled yet, who would it be?
Face any American player in singles? That's a great question. I'm actually thinking about the team now, and I'm like, who's in the team? I don't know, Brooks.
Okay.
Not Reed.
You and Brooks have had a few battles in majors, so I guess that would be only fitting.
I'd have a nice day with Brooks. I play.
Favorite low-key course back home, doesn't host a tournament, but one you love getting out to and, reminiscing on the childhood?
Formby Hall, which is where I grew up playing. Like I've been a member there for years, like playing.
So you've been on the PGA Tour for 3-4 years now. Who are some of the American guys that you've kind of developed a good friendship with?
Not Kelly Craft. American guys: Keith Mitchell, Xander. There's quite a lot really. Like I feel like I've always got on well with the players, and like I don't know whether I'm still in the 60-second thing here, but I think the PGA Tour always had this like reputation for like being such an individual tour, or like it's not quite sociable, and I've never really found it like that. Really, I've always enjoyed it. So.
All right, we got 3 or 4 left here. Take away the majors, the WGCs, the FedEx playoffs. Give us your favorite low-key event on both the European Tour and the PGA Tour.
Favorite on the European Tour would be the Dunhill Links.
Okay.
And the PGA Tour, taking away the players, I reckon my favorite PGA Tour event probably I've enjoyed the Zurich.
Oh wow.
2-man one, okay. Who have you played with again in that one?
I've played with Sergio and I played with Chris Paisley first year. So I was actually we were gonna be playing with Fran this year. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, Louisiana has gotten beat up pretty bad with the virus. Yeah, that would have been a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, that's good for me. Jack and Kevin usually want to ask a couple, so I'll let them have theirs, and then we'll wrap things up.
Beautiful.
I mean, Tommy, when you win your first major, what are we toasting with?
Anything and everything.
Okay. Fair enough.
I would say, so this is my usual one, but I think it's going to lean towards one. But if you had to win a British Open at St. Andrews or a U.S. Open at Pebble, which would it be?
Oh, it's the Open at St. Andrews. It's the Open at St. Andrews, yeah.
Jack, ask your Ricky or ask your Spieth JT one, just because we always ask it.
This was when the rivalry was kind of equal and they were both playing well. I would ask who they thought was going to have more tournament wins and majors when it's all said and done, Spieth or JT. But I mean, you can answer.
I still think Jordan will get it back. I don't think you keep a champion down like that down forever, but I think that's an interesting debate. JT is very, very good golfer right now, but I think Jordan will get it back. So,
what do you think of his driver inaccuracy? I know you struggled for a little bit with it. Do you have any insight on maybe what's going on there? Or?
I think it's difficult, really, because say there's a certain area of your game that's not been great. I mean, I've experienced it, and you can work. You have to work really hard on it to get it back. But even when you get it back, your confidence always comes second. And to get confidence, you have to see it happening. And I think you've just got to go through a process where it'll come. But if he never gets the accuracy back, I mean, Seve never really had a problem with it, or Tiger.
Next time you see Steve, just tell him he's the best driver in the world, and then walk away.
Exactly, it's no big deal. No big deal.
Jordan,
all right. Well, Tommy, once again, from all of us, we really appreciate you coming on. We're all huge fans. You've been an inspiration for all of us getting into the game, and we look forward to following you. And the next time maybe you're in Austin or Chicago for the BMW, we'll have to have a cold one with you.
There you go, Arlington Heights.
Yeah, Arlington Heights, exactly.
We'll
hit Passero up for 6.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, thanks Tom.
So much, Tommy.
Thank you very much.
Stay safe.
See you guys.
See you. Bear, should I pause this?